Welcome to Office Hours with me, Dr. Kylie Bragdon, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the sometimes really ugly sides of leadership because trust me, they exist. Now, as you guys know, every single week I create a new episode based on one of your questions. So, regardless of how big or small your leadership role might feel, make sure you throw us those questions in the Google form below and we'll get you on the show. So, for the month of December, we're refocusing on an end of year reset. We're going to make sure that you're balanced enough to take on those big goals for 2026. And today's question, I think, is something that will resonate with a lot of our younger leaders. Let's jump in, shall we? So, the person that wrote in says the following: I am a 32-year-old project manager, and this is my first time in formal leadership role. Okay. I really care about supporting my team and making sure no one ever feels stuck. But lately, it feels like my kindness is being taken advantage of. Ooh, I've been there. So, the same people keep coming back to me with the same questions, and I'm realizing that in the beginning, I made things just a little bit worse by just doing the work myself to be helpful. Ooh, not so helpful, huh? So now it feels like anytime someone doesn't want to do a task, they just come to me and say they don't know how. It happens all day, and I'm falling behind on my own workload. Ooh, that's not good. I don't want to be cold or unsupportive, but also I know I'm headed straight for burnout if something doesn't change. So, how do I support my team without becoming the default problem solver for everything? Okay, so if you're in a leadership role, especially your first leadership role, I don't care who you are, you've probably done this. This is so common because people who are in leadership want to be helpful, right? I know that I wanted desperately to be helpful to others because if I wasn't helping them, then in my mind, I was somehow being negligent as a leader, right? Now the thing is we can be helpful all day long, but it doesn't necessarily mean we need to do things for people. Unfortunately, in this situation, you already kind of started. You are already down this path where you've taken the workload off of other people, and maybe you're not setting very strong boundaries to make sure that this doesn't continue. So, this is where I think we need to start. First things first, if you want to be the most helpful to somebody else, the best thing that you can ever do for them is provide them with a skill. Teach them something. Teach them how to do the thing they're telling you they don't know how to do. Now, teaching is much more simple than I think a lot of people make it out to be. You don't have to be professionally trained. You just have to understand three very simple steps. And the three steps are: first, you're going to show or demonstrate a skill to people. Make sure they see it. You're going to let them see it black and white, every step of what it is you want them to achieve. Next up, you're going to have them practice it, not on their own independently. You're going to practice it right in front of you. So, in the third step of teaching, you can then give feedback. Now, if they did really good, let them know. You did a really great job. Do it exactly that way every time. It's awesome. Or if it seems like they really didn't understand it, that's where you add a little corrective instruction. You're going to reteach the behaviors that you want to see. And you continue on this cycle until it's demonstrated that they know what they're doing. So the next time you have someone come to you and say, like, I don't know how to do it, don't just say, oh, I'll take care of it. Take the time, invest the time in the person to make sure they have that necessary skill development. Now, this would have been helpful at the very beginning, but like I said, we're already down this path where people are already bothering this person all day long. So, how do we stop that behavior? Well, after we establish that we're going to teach people skills instead of doing things for people, we also need to set up a very specific schedule that people can access you. You need to, as a leader, be able to get whatever work that's been assigned to you also done. That doesn't mean, however, you need to take on the burden of everybody else's work to do. So, one thing that was really hard for me to do at first was to set myself up for specific times that were like work period times for me. They were blocked out in my schedule where I could not be accessed. However, I did also make sure I incorporated very specific office hours where my team knew that they could come and see me every day at a specific time to answer whatever questions they might have. Now, you might choose to do a 1 hour session in the morning or a 1 hour session in the afternoon or whatever is flexible or I think supportive to your team, but letting them know in communication, whether it be email or face to face, like, I really appreciate your questions and I'm so happy to help you, but I just need you to know next time, could you please try and get to me during office hours? You can find them at X and Y on my schedule. You can just show up. One other thing that I think is important is sometimes questions happen most frequently at the very beginning of the day. So when I was in leadership roles that had a lot of staff involved, I made sure that I always did a morning round. I would go and I would say hi to literally every person that I was supervising just to make sure, like, hey, how you doing? Things good? Do you need anything? No? Okay, awesome, great. On to the next one. It's a really short exchange, but it lets them know that you're there to support them. You can address immediate questions or needs in that moment, and then you can move on to the next person. But it kind of sets the tone for the day so they don't have to constantly seek you out if there is something smaller that you have to address or help them with. So, again, if you are in a leadership role and are maybe feeling a little burdened by other people's workload, you got to do two things. First, you got to make sure you're teaching skills. You're always going to be the person doing the work if you don't teach other people how to do the work. And second, you got to set some boundaries. Let people access you at times that are appropriate for you because you also have responsibilities. I hope this was helpful. A giant reminder again, make sure you like, share, follow, do all the things to help push this content out into the universe, and please send in those questions. Now, until next time, everyone, keep leading because remember, somebody stinking has to.